SoccerBeat, what's.
Hi everyone, it's SoccerBeat, and it's Peter DeToy, and I've got Cheeseboy McQuena and Mike Morton here today, and it's What's Hot, and this is the first of our series in this transfer window of What's Hot, and the hottest story right now is Oswin Apollis. As you know, in the last transfer window, Chiefs and Sundowns were fighting for his signature. Well, it's all changed right now. Orlando Pirates are leading the chase to sign Oswin Apollis. A deal's not been done, but it's quite close to happening. Will Chiefs and will Sundowns sneak in at the back door? I've got Cheeseboy and Mike, two ex-Pirates players here. Mind you, Cheese, you also played at Sundowns. But we'll unpack this deal. So let's look at the situation. What is fact is that Pirates are in strong talks with Polokwane in signing the player. And funny enough, we even spoke at the last transfer window that Pirates have been very quiet, but don't be surprised if they come in at the end. Well, they seem to be in the front of this particular transfer window. The numbers we've been talking and hearing about is 20 to 25 million rand for Oswin Apollis. First of all, I want to just ask you, you've both been players, and you know the market. Is that a fair number for a player like Oswin Apollis? Cheese.
Yeah, I think the boy has worked hard to actually get to that amount. But the question for me would be, will Pirates be able to pay that kind of money for a player like Oswin Apollis? Because it's not in Pirates' nature to actually pop out that much money. I think that's why you've heard they've always been quiet around this situation, unless they strike a deal privately with him. Because I know Mapakania, they do things very subtle, and you'll never know. Even the amount that might come out might not be the right figures.
Mike, 25 million?
Yeah.
20 to 25
Yeah,
million?
that's a massive number. I haven't, unless it's Sundowns paying 60 million for Saleh, 20 million for the South African team is a lot of money. But I don't know if that's due to the interest from North Africa or whatever. That's put a pressure on our market as well. Teams are obviously starting to pay more and more money now. Stellenbosch even signing players for 10 million rand. So yeah, the market's inflated for sure, and that's definitely got to do with Sundowns and North Africa starting to get involved in our market as well.
So if we look at from a price point of view, Sundowns seem favourites simply because they can afford that kind of, and they've paid that kind of money before. But I can tell you now, unless they come in at the very end, Pirates, I think, are very close to striking a deal. But I want to, before we move on to the other transfers, why would Pirates look at him? They've got Mofokeng who can play wide left. Why do you think they're looking at the player? Cheese?
When it comes to Pirates, especially when things are not settled, because you're having players that are playing in that position that are maybe misbehaving, maybe not doing the correct things, and they love doing that. And once that happens, once the player starts to be bigger than the club, then that's where they'll probably overload that position and make sure that they bring in someone. The other possibility could be with Rilo. With Rilo, maybe probably obviously might have a move somewhere overseas. Also try and get another player to replace him as soon as possible. They don't want to wait until the last minute when the move happens, and then they still have to figure out who they bring into that position.
So when you're talking about misbehaving, you're not talking about Mofokeng. You're referring to possibly Tito and Saleng, I presume.
Yeah, I'm talking with the two because I had a hectic conversation with Munip about the two the other day, and at Pirates as well, talking from experience. Every season I might be on my best form, but come mid-season, there's always a winger. There's always a winger. We were like 3-4 wingers playing the same position, so it's good. It's good for the club as well because they involved in all these competitions as well, and I think they're struggling, but they do need someone like that because if a player like Tito is out and you have a Saleng that's out, you're only relying on Rilo and Nkota, and once one of those gets injured, then who's the player that's going to make things happen? So I think it will be a great move for Pirates to actually do that.
Mike, you've obviously played against Apollis. How good is he really when you're on that pitch?
Yeah, so at Cape Town Spurs last season in the league away to Polokwane last season, he scored an absolute cracker from a throw, and I think he actually took the throw in, played like a 1-2 off somebody and went and smashed the thing into the corner. And he comes from Cape Town Spurs as well. He comes from Ajax Cape Town Development, and everyone there speaks very highly of him. The main thing that's been most impressive with him is that most South African players, when you see this massive talk, we all heard Chiefs Sundowns in the transfer window and he didn't get the deal. He didn't say anything in the media, kept very quiet, and then he went about his business. Here he's helping Polokwane in the top 3 in the PSL, still putting in performances week in, week out, amazing things at Bafana as well. So he just keeps increasing his market value. That's why that number just keeps inflating the more he plays.
I think he scared him his owner, Johnny.
The other thing, Mikey, I think he must start scoring goals, man. I don't think he's scoring that enough. He's very impactful for the club. Maybe the move would do him good in terms of him getting onto that score sheet, because I mean, scoring is something that's really going to elevate him. And yes, a quality player. And I just think he just needs to get more of those scoring opportunities and just bang them in. He'll just become something awesome. I really love the boy. Very nappy. Headache for defenders. You could use him either way, left, right. You can use him as a false nine. At least very, very versatile player.
I think for Sundowns, it'd be a great signing. For Orlando Pirates, I think he could be the difference between them winning the league and actually winning in CAF. I think I think he's that good a player. It could be that link, because as you say, great competition for Mofokeng and gives the team up. You can move Mofokeng to 10 and so on and so forth. It'll keep Tito on his toes and Saleng. I think he could be the signing, and I think the chairman's going to understand that and make that happen.
Yeah, Peter, part of me wants this all to mean that Mofokeng is all these links that we've heard in the media about Barcelona B and all that sort of stuff. I'm hoping that means that that's actually a reality, and that Pirates are now just forward thinking and thinking we're going to lose him at some point to a European club, hopefully a big move. And then they've already started to plan ahead, and that's why they can think of Oswin Apollis. And maybe this 20 million doesn't sound like a lot when you maybe going to get a big amount in from a European club for Mofokeng.
Good. Yeah. Before we take a break, quick question. The club that needs him the most is Kaizer Chiefs. They don't traditionally spend that kind of money. They spend money on coaches. The coach has been saying, I need to sign players. Surely, and especially with the problems they're having with Serena, surely they should sell. They should throw the bank at this deal. Mike?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Kaizer Chiefs fan and all of a sudden you were linked to Apollos for 6 months, and then right at the end of the deal, then Pirates come in and they steal him from you, and Sundowns come in, what does that say about the club? What is that saying about the guys capable of getting the deals over the line? If you're a Chiefs fan, you've been waiting for Chiefs to make a big signing. Sereno, free agent. You're signing free agent. If you really want to be competitive here, you got to get into the market, and this is someone they've had their eye on for a while, and to get pipped at the post wouldn't be ideal for Chiefs, that's for sure.
Correct.
They need to break the bank, Mikey. If they want, they must break the bank. They must stop zipping up.
Cheesy. You've been saying it for 6 months, bro. Chiefs need to break the bank.
Before we'll take a short break, and then we're going to come back and talk to you about another Pirates target, and they're certainly going to make a bid for the player, Jaedin Rhodes. We'll get back to you shortly. Welcome back, and guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and ring that bell. And we're now talking what's hot in the latest transfer window. Mike Morton and Cheeseboy Mokoena. Right, we've dealt with the Oswin Apollis issue. Now, this is a story that's not out there. Jaedin Rhodes from Cape Town City, midfielder stroke right winger. This is what's happened. Last season, and I don't think this is common knowledge, last season, Sundowns had a bid rejected by Cape Town City for the player. They were going to let City keep the player for 6 months, and then he would join the team. That's not happened. Right now, I can tell you, Pirates are in discussions with the player. Whether that looks like a good signing or not for them, we can discuss that as well. We can unpack that. But I can tell you the transfer fee that Cape Town City won is in excess of 25 million. The talk's going around this city in Cape Town, people I know very closely to the club, that City won 30 million for the player. I cannot personally see this youngster going for that kind of money. Mike, you know the Cape Town teams. You know they like their money. we're going to say, is that fair on the player? Because he's not earning that kind of money. I can tell you he's earning under R1 million a year at the club. Is it fair on a player? If you're a Chiefs, you've been there. Mike, you've been there. I've been a player, but money was never that kind of level. If you are earning X and the club want nothing like the kind of, you can't, the ratio is out here. What would you feel? It's a life-changing move going to Sundowns, which didn't happen. A life-changing move possibly to Pirates. How do you react?
Yeah. Look, I think it's only unfair when it gets to the point where the price scares away the people that are pursuing you. If they put that price tag on your head and literally everyone just runs away and they don't want to do the deal and all these deals fall through, then yes, I say that's unfair. But and we know John's an astute business guy. He's been in this game for long enough that if he puts the price at 30 million and someone's willing to pay that price, then it actually might benefit you as a player, because now when you arrive at Sundowns and they've paid 30 million for you, believe me, you're not going there asking for 50,000 rand a month. When you say I came for 30 million, you better believe that I'm going to be asking for a salary of a lot more as well. So it can actually benefit you if that deal actually gets over the line. But if it ends up blocking all these moves because the price is just too high, then you could maybe have the argument that it's a bit unfair.
I'd say the only people that can afford that 30, I think it can only be Sundowns. I don't think Pirates will pay the 20 for Oswin and then go for another 30. I don't think so.
I tend to agree with you. Is he worth that kind of money? You see him often. You play against him in friendlies in Cape Town. How good is he?
I like him a lot. He has all of the attributes I think that can make him a very, very successful striker. He has a bit of that aggression in him, which is rare for a winger. He has good drive in him. Obviously, the numbers in terms of goals and assists, not peaks numbers that would determine that he's will be one of the most expensive transfers in our country's history. But I do like him. That is a big price tag. But I do think he can definitely do a job for.
No, it's too much, Mikey. It's too much for that kind of a player. He still needs to work. I love the boy. Look, I just need him to be a bit more consistent as well in terms of his performances as well, because I feel like he'll probably perform.
The price in the market is what people are willing to pay. That's the reality. If people are willing to pay that amount for a player and they're not running away when you make
Mike, I'm up at Pirates.
That price is only for one club. We know that.
Yeah, for sure. I love the player. Don't mind that, but for Pirates, no. I don't think, because when I look at it, I'm looking at a Morton situation when he moved from City to Pirates. It was quality at City, and I'm seeing the same with Rhodes as a winger as well. And coming up against the likes of Saleng, your Titos, your Nkotas, I don't think the Paganias will really favor for him to get there. But if it happens, it happens, Mikey. You never know. This is football. But my opinion, no, I think he'd rather go to another club rather than maybe Orlando Pirates. Sundowns, I don't know. It's packed there. It's full there, man. The train is full there. Whether he's going to get a chance to play, it's another issue. He's going for the money, then he will have to decide, I'm going there to go get my package or not play. Still needs to get into the national team. There's still a lot of work to be done by him. So, but we can just only wish him the best wherever he lands.
Another player that, it seems like you're saying, no, Cheese, you like the player, but not for Pirates at any price.
No.
We'll move on. We move on to Thabang Matuludi. He's 25, probably the best right back in the league, or certainly competing with Matud for the best right back in the league. Again, this is a player that I can tell you, Pirates were looking at him before they signed Van Rooyen. Talk is that they, again, very seriously about looking at signing him. Whether they get that over the line or not. But Pirates have got Monyane, they've got Shandu who can play there, they've got Lebitso who can play there. They've got a number of players. Cheese, or actually, Mike, this is your position to a certain extent as well. Between Van Rooyen and Matuludi, where strengths, weaknesses? Who'd you have?
For me, Van Rooyen was the best right back in the league last year, even ahead of Sailor. Sailor didn't play much in the league last year. He was obviously more in Champions League and Bafana, etc. For me, Van Rooyen is still up there as one of the best in the country. I really like him. So Sundowns, for me, the right back spot is taken. Moda, no one touches that spot. Pirates, for me, Van Rooyen, even Monyane as a backup there. Pirates are sorted as well. That's more when we start to look at the club that should actually be interested in Matuludi is Kaizer Chiefs. I mean, I'd be shocked if Pirates made a move for him as well, because Pirates are stacked in that position. Sundowns don't need another right back. I mean, they've got Morena as backup to the best right back in the country. So I don't see why those two would make a move. But yeah, the obvious choice would be Chiefs.
Chief?
I'd agree with Mikey. I'd say Chiefs would be the better option to go for Matuludi. I mean, we have a Fossler there. They don't really have much happening on that right hand side. I think they need a little bit of a different right back. Matuludi can give them that. He gets right into that edge. I know. I think he's a different player to him. Fossler, he crosses the ball a lot from the halfway line. Not really getting into that box and creating those chances. He's a player that can just cross. But with Matuludi, you got somebody that can also score the goals and create the goals. So Chiefs would be the best option for Matuludi. I think he's had a fantastic start to the season. Last season has been fantastic. He's been solid, Justin J, for Polokwane. But the move, I would agree with Mikey. I think he must go to Naturena if it's supposed to happen.
I don't think that checkbook in Naturena is big enough for for Polokwane. We're going to take a short break. Yeah, we're going to take a short break, get back to you and summarize the show.
The Carling Black Label Cup is here to put the power back in your hands. Fagugesi at the Carling Cup on 21 December at Orlando Stadium. Buy your tickets at Ticket Pro. T's and C's apply.
Welcome back, guys. And as I say, follow us on the socials. And please make your comments. We reread them all and we get back to as many as we can. Right, in summary, guys, regardless of what everybody said, the facts of the matter are as follows. That Orlando Pirates are definitely leading the race right now for all three players. The fact that Sundowns have already made an offer for Jaden doesn't mean they're out the picture. As you know how Sundowns operate, they could come in the last minute for all three of these players. Chiefs want Apollis. We know that. The problem with Chiefs is, will they pay the bucks? And as it stands right now, they've never been big spenders. So Chiefs fans, you've got to get your club pushing there to try and sign Apollis at least. Let's just talk about a deal that we said should happen. And if you look in hindsight and you look at the problems they're having, it should have signed Zungu signing for Amazulu. We said in one of our earlier shows that Chiefs should be signing Zungu as that holding midfield role. And don't you think he would have been a perfect player in the Nabi kind of system? Chiefs?
Yeah, perfect. I think we spoke about this in our early episodes to say Chiefs should be going for a player like Zungu. Of course, age is not on his side, but that experience is really needed, especially in times like this where the team needs like a leader. Because they don't have a leader. You have a player like Zungu that's capable of bringing that into the club, bring that bit of dignity, respect in that midfield. Because you got players that are really scared of Zungu. I think the name just brings fears to other midfielders that, hey, I'm coming up against this guy. He's got the perfect height, very good for set pieces for them as well. I think it would have been a great inclusion for Chiefs, but they lost out. I think maybe they were just thinking that maybe he's probably too old, or maybe the last incident that happened with Benito is one of their sons. You never know, but yeah. But I think it would have been a perfect signing for Kaizer Chiefs. A boost for Amazulu. I went to go watch them this previous weekend. I think they really bolstering their team because they want to get out of that position where they are. And I think they made a quality signing and also getting the centre back Tetra as well. I think that's awesome. That's great. I think they really stabilize that spine, and I think that's very key for every team to have a quality spine with experience, and then the rest will just fall into place.
Good, Mike, central midfielder like you, Zungu. Your comments on whether why they didn't sign him possibly, and the fans, by the way, when we were talking about him signing for Chiefs, were very anti him signing him. So that's quite an interesting. Maybe they listen to the fans there. Maybe they obviously watch the show. Your thoughts? What really brought to the team that they don't have?
Yeah, you never really know, I suppose, what's going on behind the scenes, because obviously his second stint at Sundowns didn't go all that well, and then he went to Wydad as well with Rulani, and that deal didn't happen either, which then starts to maybe set off a couple warning signs that maybe he's not the player he used to be, or there's a fitness issue or injury issue or something. So maybe Amazulu have taken a gamble. We'll have to see how that plays out. But yeah, if all of a sudden it comes right and he turns into the player that we know he is, and he's the Zungu of 2-3 years ago, then you're looking at Chiefs and thinking, sure, maybe you should have taken a gamble on him. because Blom, we all thought Blom would be a big success, but I mean, they're not even using him in the central midfield at the moment. They use him as like a backup right back. So that's also, the central midfield issue is definitely still an ongoing issue at Chiefs.
Blom looks a yard off the pace to me, by the way. He just seems just a yard off the pace. He doesn't seem as quick. I think the South African game is very quick, especially compared to the American game, and I think he's struggling to get in. The interesting thing, and the last note on the Zungu thing, he went to Turkey and trained with the club. And I think that the coach possibly looked at him and went, I've got good young players. Do I really need this guy? And he obviously wanted big money because he was on a free. And I think the club weighed up the money he wants. And the coach looked at his age and thought, well, this team's good enough. In hindsight, he would have been the perfect hold-in midfielder 6 there for that team. And with his experience, and the other young players would have looked up to him and he would have given them confidence. But anyway, Oswin Apollis, we'll keep you abreast of what's happening with Oswin and with Jaden and with Thabang. Watch this space. It's getting hot. Cheers, guys.